Don't show up to my door unannounced. I feel like that is a thing that used to be a thing, and I hate it. It was the topic of discussion this last week. If you show up to my house unannounced, I'm not going to have pants on.
What is up? Welcome to Better Merch, Better Marketing, the podcast where we try to elevate your merch and your marketing. I'm one of the hosts, Kirby Hasseman. Joining me, as always, is the rock star herself, Jade Kreider. Jade, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I've got my fun little hat on. I don't normally wear hats, so it's out of my normal. And if you can't read it, it says, "What's normal anyways?" Which feels fitting. So yeah,
since you're out of your normal
life. Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. Yeah, and things here are good. We're trying to keep things rocking and rolling as we kind of race toward the end of the first quarter. You know, as you are listening to this, we've only got about a week left in March, which is really hard to believe in 2025. But here we are. And if you're new to the program, we kind of have some fun with this every week. It's Better Merch, Better Marketing. We try to elevate what you're doing, have some fun along the way. And it's brought to you by Hasseman Marketing. You can learn more about us at hassemanmarketing.com. And hey, we have our show every year where we actually invite our customers and prospects in. This year, the event is on September 23rd. And I believe where you can register is at show.hassemanmarketing.com. And we would love to have you join us. All right, so let's dive into some topics today, Jade. And I'd love to say I'm surprising you, but I'm not, because you are the person who comes up with the topics each time. And I really appreciate that, doing the work. And so the first topic we're going to talk about is unpopular opinions. So I saw this on the list. I was like, ooh, this could absolutely get us into trouble. And so, which as a rule, kind of dig. And so, yeah, I think this could be a little wheels off here. So essentially you were saying that there's a little bit of a trend on TikTok talking about this, and there's other things where we talk about unpopular opinions. So do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first on unpopular opinions?
I'm going to go first. Because I have a backup if we want to go a little bit further. So I'll go first. Okay. My first one is going to be, being an A+ student and having a 4.0 does not always mean that you are the smartest person in the room. It's an interesting one, and I feel strongly about it because Skylar and I were talking about it, my sister and I were talking about it in like college and things like that. I didn't go to college. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm anything lesser than or that I'm not qualified. It just means that I didn't go to college. That doesn't have to dictate that somebody is the smartest. Right. So that was my unpopular opinion that people don't always agree with.
Sure. Well, and again, I think
I'm not saying I am either, just so we're clear.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good clarification. No, I agree 1,000%. I think there's actually a book out there, and I think it's by Robert Kiyosaki. I think that it says that A students tend to work for C students. And because I think that the education system, it's great. Obviously, we're pro learning, which is different, right? Yes. But yeah, I actually think that's really good, because it's like when you get out into the real world, education doesn't always value independent thinkers. It doesn't value contrarian thinkers. And the reality is that's what entrepreneurship and a lot of the sales stuff is. And so that's a good one. I like that one.
Well, okay. And it's funny because like one of my really good friends here is about to go to Yale. So it feels very fitting that I would throw that one in there. So.
Yeah. And hey, if you're an A+ student, good for you.
You're that's still awesome. Winning, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, here's one that I like, and I think it's related to our industry, is Yeti branded merch. So specifically Yeti tumblers are wildly overrated. I am not a fan of doing Yeti tumblers when it comes to branded merch. The fact of the matter is Yeti was really difficult to work with, especially when they came, and you know, branded merch folks were trying to get Yeti products, and it was hard. And so Yeti, I think, kind of double dog dared the merch industry to knock off their stuff. And so they did. Like, there are some amazing knockoffs to Yeti that cost $12 instead of the $70 that it takes to do a Yeti tumbler decorated well. And if you're like, okay, well, I don't want the cheaper version. P.S. I think you should rethink that and do some, like, the actual quality stand up completely. Mm-hmm. And I think that often on those less expensive versions, you can do more cool decoration. But if you really want to do a branded one, you want to co-brand your logo with something else. Stanley's a great option. Brewmate's a great option. If you like brand Basecamp, which has a give back component. So there's a ton of options outside of Stanley. Yeti, wildly overrated. Yeah. Sorry.
I was like, wait, pause, backtrack. My other one is really not that exciting, but it's simply don't show up to my door unannounced. I feel like that is a thing that used to be a thing, and I hate it. It was the topic of discussion this last week. If you show up to my house unannounced, I'm not going to have pants on. You can't. I won't answer the door.
Yeah.
Give me a warning.
I don't think that is unpopular these days. I think that's just
fair. It's actually that's part of the reason it was number 2 was because we said that like this used to be a normal thing to show up to people's houses unannounced. Now, if you don't text me ahead of time, I'll pretend I'm not home. I'll look you dead in the eye and pretend like I'm not home.
I like that. That's pretty good. Okay, so if you have an unpopular opinion that you'd like to share with us, man, please. These are usually kind of fun. So throw them in the comments. We'd actually love to hear those. So cool. All right.
And pineapple does not belong on pizza. That was a bunch of them for some reason. I was like, it's
okay.
Not.
Yeah.
Anyways, next we're going to do something fun. It feels seasonal and I'm going to have fun with it. So March Madness is obviously happening. It is March. So we are going to do Merch Madness. Kirby has had very little to no heads up on what we're talking about. But I have created, for those of you who are listening that cannot see my little paper chart in front of me, I have created my own little March Madness chart. So we are kind of referencing certain products, but some of them are a little bit more vague because, there's so many options with some of them. But we're going to go pretty quick. I'll give a quick description and then we're going to try and argue it out a little bit.
Decide who's the winner and who advances, right? Who survives and advances.
So our first one is going to be the chisel pen, chisel pencil, which is a carpenter pencil that you never ever have to sharpen, or the crinkle pen, which is my newest Instagram video that everybody has been loving because it crinkles and it's so fun and it's a pen. For what it's worth, just to add some excitement to it, looking at about $4.95, looking at about $3.25. Different markets, different things. We get to decide which one's going to make it. I'm going to do it quickly.
Wow, you started this with a tough one.
I started strong.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I have a pretty strong vote, but I think we all know why.
Yeah, and I think I know what you're gonna say. So I'm gonna make the case for the chisel.
Okay.
So the chisel is new. It's less expensive. There's a giant imprint area when it comes to a pencil like that, right? So you could do full color. Right. Or you could do like a QR code on it. And I think that the markets that you and I sell into often, we tend to sell into manufacturing and construction and some of that. So I really, again, I'm
arguing that this is so eye catching. That's really my entire argument. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Everybody that sees this just wants it. So.
Yeah. Well, and I think it is unique. It is unique. Right. And so. I don't think we can go wrong. I'm going to let you cast the final vote on this one.
Honestly, you talked me into it. We're going chisel. You made some great argument points. I wasn't sure about it because I do still love this thing.
Yeah.
But this one also has, once you hit 100 of these, you can waive the setup cost. So that was an extra little bonus point for that one. Okay. So we are circling the chisel.
Okay. I like it. Okay.
The next one is going to be a fun one. So we're doing chapstick versus hand sanitizer. And I don't have specifics because there's so many versions of these, so we get to kind of just decide from there.
Okay, I'll give you I'm going to, again, hand sanitizer, great. Mm-hmm. Strangely, there's some political crap that comes with hand sanitizer that some people are all for it, some people aren't. I'm going to go lip balm on this because it's one of the things we've talked about is $1.50 or under, and 40% of the population is addicted to it. So, and it's usually actually a really good imprint area, the whole 9 yards. So I'm going lip balm. That's my vote.
Ironically, you actually have my vote on that one. We're going lip balm because I couldn't find a hand sanitizer here. We don't have any at our house, which I feel like means lip balm wins. I feel like that just means it gets the vote there. Oh, so you've got it in front of you. You're on it. You know what I have in front of me? Lip balm.
Yeah, and again, just to be clear, I'm a fan of all this stuff. So this is you're making it hard on me.
It's kind of fun. So our next one, and I have a strong opinion on this one. I don't know if you know it. So our next one is going to be a koozie bomb versus a stadium cup, which I don't have with me. but Koozie Bop versus Stadium Cup. If you can't tell, those of you listening, these are all kind of handout items. I tried to keep it within the same price bracket, so it was a little bit easier to kind of narrow down. Stadium Cup,
I don't know.
Koozie.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a strong opinion on this. I think it depends on the application. I'd lean toward a specific kind of Stadium Cup, but I don't know that I feel strongly.
I feel strongly, and this is talk about an unpopular opinion. I don't like Stadium Cups. We don't keep them at our house. They don't make it to our cupboard. They get used once or twice and they probably get thrown out. We keep koozies because we drink the pops and we drink beer and we drink stuff that requires a koozie. So I think koozie is winning this round.
Okay,
that's what we've
sold.
Decided.
Sold.
Okay, next we are going to be talking about the box cutter marker that I think you might have, but I don't have one with me, so I'm really mad about that.
I have it, but not in front of me. Okay.
A tote bag.
Okay, so
and that's a big one because I live in Colorado and bags are banned, so it's a tough one.
Plastic bags.
Plastic bags. Sorry, yeah.
For me, and again, I'm not a tote bag person. It's actually one of the things I struggle with. So for me, I think the box cutter marker. If you don't know what it is, it's like you got the box cutter on one side, a marker on the other, so you can open the box, write on the box of what's in it. I think it's incredibly functional, and the price point is very, very good. I definitely lean toward that.
Interesting. Okay. So I actually pulled up some like random specs. So the box cutter marker, you're looking at about $288. And one of the tote bags I was looking at, you're looking at about $280. So it's actually a little bit cheaper on the side to go with a tote bag. Obviously I'm going to lean towards a tote bag a little bit on this one because when I tell you we use tote bags every single day in this household.
And I would also say for the argument for the tote bag is that everybody can use it, whereas the box cutter might be a little bit more niche-y based. So I'm down with the tote bag. That's fine.
We're going tote bag. Okay, so next we are competing the chisel versus chapstick.
Oh, it's not getting easier for me. Yeah, for all the reasons I just said earlier, not going to rehash the case, but I'm going to go lip balm on this one.
Going lip balm? I honestly think I agree, which I didn't think I was going to go, but I think I'm going, because I think chapstick you just keep forever, whereas pens, they're great. Okay. They come and go. Okay, so then we're going tote bag versus koozie.
Yeah, I'm going koozie.
Yeah, I feel like that's the easy one. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm just not a tote bag person.
Now, are we going chapstick or are we going koozie?
If you would have told me at the beginning of this that that I was going to say that the lip balm was the March Madness winner, I would have told you you're nuts. But if you give me it's all about matchups, people, just like in March Madness. And so I'd lean toward lip balm on that.
I'm honestly kind of with you, and I do. Lip balm was not what I saw winning this thing. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh yeah,
this is kind of fun. I kind of like this. It's very
so
random,
this is pretty good.
That was kind of fun. I like that. So lip balm.
Okay, so the March Madness winner. So please, if you listen to this ridiculousness and you have a strong opinion about where we went wrong or where we went right, please let us know. That's kind of a fun one. I like that.
Let's hear your March Madness. You had the beginning options.
Yeah. Okay. So next up, tips and tricks. So this is another topic you brought up, and I think that we live in a distracted era. The topic is how to create merch that stands out in the social media era. And so when I think of social media era, I think we're just constantly distracted. There's just so many things going on. So that's the way I kind of took this. So we both created some ideas on ways to create merch that will stand out in this era. Again, do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You go first this time.
Okay, so my number one tip when it comes to creating merch that stands out is to not do cheap crap. Don't create brand fill. I think, don't get me wrong, budgets are incredibly important. We have to stay in the budget, but that doesn't mean you have to do cheap. We just did Merch Madness, and inexpensive and quality can be combined. Lip balm is one of those items, right? And so I think so many times we end up doing sacrificing the quality and putting our logo or our, the logo on a a crappy pen or a tote bag that it ends up ripping really quickly, or like focusing on things that will be utilized over and over and over again is a good way to stand out.
I like that one. My first one, so when I said this, yes, that was part of it. The other part was that it's just so easy to buy stuff right now. Like, it's so easy to get on TikTok Shop and order it right from the platform you're already scrolling on. So that was part of it. So my first one is going to be make it easy for people to get the merch, to distribute the merch. I feel like it's a big thing of like, sometimes you want something, but it's gonna take you 3.5 months to get it. And we live in a world where we get instant gratification. It can't take 3.5 months to get it. So getting it to people in a way that gets their attention and is fairly quick, and having it easy for people to get the merch that you're doing.
Yeah, I think that speaks to it's like, and this has been something, I've been a part of this industry for a long time. And I think one of the things that we've preached for a long time, but we struggle with, is the idea of, okay, I've got this really cool item. How am I going to get it in the hands of the people that it matters to? So thinking through the delivery of it that's a great piece. For me, it's about creating merch that is very specific to the audience or the tribe you're trying to build. Right? Being so many times people are like, what, you think about the budget, you think about the event, maybe even you think about the theme, but we don't think enough about the end user and what they're going to feel when they get it. Create something that they are going to be over the moon excited about, and you will definitely stand out.
I love that. And it kind of plays into my next one. And I've talked about doing a good design before. And frankly, my hat is a really good example of that. So I'm going to take it off and I'm going to have full on hat hair. And so for those of you who can't see it, the front of it, oh yeah, that is some good hair, says, what is normal anyways? And if you look at it, there's actually a logo back here on the back. But it's super discreet. And this also has a little ponytail holder, win-win-win. But it's super discreet. It's not something that would catch your eye. And yet I'm going to wear this all the time because I love that it has this message on the front of it rather than having just Hasseman marketing in big letters on the front of it. I think it's a cool way to get people involved and get people wearing your stuff without making it in your face kind of thing.
So my third one is to create a cool design, not just your logo. So I think we're in lockstep on that. And I think that is one of the trends that we're seeing. And again, it doesn't mean that you don't tie your brand on it, but it means to tie your brand to something that is consistent with who you are, your values, your vision, and the people who you're trying to attract. So I'm 100% with you on that one.
My last one is kind of more of like a trick that you can do that if you watch out on my social media, you might see soon, is to do some type of giveaway to promote engagement. Get some people on your page and show the merch that you're doing with that giveaway. So whether it's you're giving away the items that you're doing, or you're giving away a free book or a free recipe or something fun where you get people tagging other people and get a ton of engagement on your page, people are already scrolling. Put it where people are already looking.
Yeah, I love that. Can I throw in a bonus one that I just thought of while you were talking about? So one of the things I've seen people do, and I really like this concept, is let's say you're going to do a new t-shirt design for your organization, but is to create a couple, 3 different designs, and then ask your audience, your group, which one's your favorite. So you get buy-in, you get engagement on social media, you get people kind of giving, and honestly, sometimes you get some really good feedback. You're like, oh, I didn't see that. So engage, or, get your audience or your following to vote on which design you want, and then make that one because your audience just told you that's what they want. So.
Yeah, engagement's huge, especially when we're talking about social media and stuff. Engagement's going to be a game changer. Yeah, next, we are going back to kind of what we did last week. So we are going to do a product of the podcast, product of the week, whatever you would like to call it. But today's product is going to be, I actually found this. I forgot this was sent to me and I found it in a drawer and have been obsessed with it for the last 3 days. So clearly it's won my heart.
Dig it.
This is the Lean-To wallet. So as you can see, ginormous imprint area, huge. Yeah. And I like the way that this one's done because it's cute and subtle and, like we said, very on brand. So this is a MagSafe wallet. So as you can see, MagSafe, pop it out, and it's a little phone stand. But most importantly is it's got this little spot here. It can fit up to 4 credit cards, it said online, I found out. And I was so worried about getting this out. However, if you can see, there's a little thing there. You can actually just, really easy to get in and out, pop it on and off. And I've said this in a video before, but for what it's worth, if you don't have MagSafe on your phone, do not stress it. A lot of them come with this little adapter that can just stick to your phone. well, it'll actually sticker when you don't already have the MagSafe,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can use any of your MagSafe options. But this MagSafe wallet with the huge imprint area, it's going to be a game changer when I'm traveling here soon, because then I can put my ID in there rather than having to dig out of my purse the whole time.
Yeah, and it's got super low minimums, right?
Yeah, sorry. This is a 1-piece minimum, I believe, with no setup charge.
Yeah.
So this is a really cool one right now. So the MagSafe stuff has clearly got my attention. So there's your product of the podcast.
That's a really good one. All right, cool. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. This is really good. I'm still getting over the whole Merch Madness thing. And finally, we do. I don't think I'm skipping ahead. Time for a shout out, right?
It's time for a shout out.
Okay, so I ended up going to a meeting at lunch today. So the Coshocton County Board of DD had their annual luncheon today. So the Coshocton County Board of Developmental Disabilities, these are folks who serve people with developmental disabilities in Coshocton County. I actually said to somebody on the way out, I'm like, I had so many things going on today, and I was like trying to talk myself in and out of going to this lunch. I was so glad I went. It was so uplifting. You talk about, it's a who's who. I can't get over how many people they get in there. There's several hundred people in the room. Everybody, a lot of organizations there, which was really cool. But they did a couple things. So number one, they kind of highlighted a few folks. The employer of the year was Bueller's Foods, which is a client of ours. So that's pretty cool. Local hero was Irwin Eye Care. They also gave a shout out to Kelly Bratton and some other folks. But I wanted to say that they got over $500,000 in what are called ARPA funds, so American Rescue Plan Act. Essentially, they used this to help with like park equipment, did different updates like changing tables, picnic tables that are accessible, a pool lift that help people get in the pool. And they put these things all over the county. So they use this rather than taking the money and just building a badass playground at their place. They spread these dollars all over the community, including, I think they got two accessible shuttle vans with public transit. I mean, like $500,000 awesome. Sprinkled all over the community. Really, I left there just like inspired. And Steve Oster and Brittany and all the folks over there, they do a great job. And this was a great event. I was excited when I left.
That's so cool. That's actually really cool to hear about.
Yeah. So there you go. We covered a lot of ground. This is actually a quick one. I think we were so worried that the Merch Madness thing was going to take a long time that we kind of blew through it. So let us know your unpopular opinions. Mm-hmm. Let us know where we went sideways on the Merch Madness thing. And also, hey, if you want to learn more about us, hassemanmarketing.com, and check out information on our show. And yes, we will create a shop where you can check out more information about the hat that Jade's wearing and the thing that she just put on her hat. So that's pretty good stuff. All right.
I hope everybody has a wonderful, magical day.
Yep. Peace out.
Bye, guys.